So you want to start rucking, but you're not sure what rucksack to get, how to correctly load it and with how much weight, what footwear you need for the type of ruck you're doing, and anything else you might need to know. Well, you're in luck because that is everything we're going to cover today. Starting with the most essential bit of kit, the rucksack. So in my eyes, there are two primary options. A rucksack built for rucking, we'll call this a rucker, and a rucksack built for military use or outdoor adventure, we'll call this a bergen. Now yes, you can use a backpack, just want to make sure that it's robust enough to carry, say, 10% of your body weight. So let's start with the similarities, okay? They are both built to carry heavy loads with tear-resistant fabrics. They both have quite thick shoulder straps so that that weight sits comfortably on your shoulder. They both have padded backs, or backs designed in a way to be comfortable against your back so that you don't get any of the contents jabbing into you, don't get any abrasion on the skin. And they both typically have a chest strap and a hip belt to help improve weight distribution and stability. In terms of the differences now, that really comes down to design, as they're both intended for different use cases. The ruckers are typically smaller in capacity, okay, typically 20 to 40 litres. They typically have a compartment on the inside for a ruck plate, and that helps to keep the majority of the weight high and close to your back. They are frameless, okay, so they just have this nice padded flat back, which is super comfortable. In sum, this is basically a rucksack on steroids, right? It's simple, very robust, very easy to use and versatile. Contrast that with the bergen, okay? So capacity-wise, these can vary. It could be, for example, a day pack, and on the smaller side, or it can be a larger pack for extended operations or multi-day outdoor adventures like this one. This actually puffs out a lot more than that. They have typically a internal or external frame on the back. Okay, so that's a big point of difference between the two. And this is intended to help with weight distribution if you're carrying really heavy loads for a really long time. That's the main difference between the two. So which one should you get, the rucksack or the bergen? If you intend on mainly training, I think the rucker wins, just because it's so simple, so comfortable, so easy to use, so versatile, and a really good quality one can hold 30% of your body weight or more. If you intend on doing any kind of military challenges or hiking adventures, then maybe a bergen is better, because you can load it up with your actual gear and use it for both training and those respective activities. It is a little bit more cumbersome though if you intend on using it in the gym, and so it's really up to you. I personally have both. I like to use the rucker for most of my training, especially when I'm indoors. I do use the bergen if I'm loading really heavy and doing a really long endurance ruck. I do find it more comfortable in that use case only. And also, I am doing a military challenge next year that requires carrying about 70 pounds of actual kit. And so I need this bigger pack to be able to do that. I will say, final note, that you just want to go for the best quality you can afford, because in my experience, the quality does make a big difference, and you do absolutely want to be comfortable so you can ruck safely. So get something good quality, very robust. It's going to last you a very long time. So let's talk about how to load your rucksack. There are two different options that I'll walk you through, but first, a couple of key principles. We want the weight high and close to the back, okay? That way, we're going to effectively load our bigger muscles of our back and our hips without putting any strain on us. And the second principle is to fill the rucksack up and cinch it down. We don't want any air pockets or any space where the contents might move, because that could throw you off balance and reduce your stability. So, option number one is to use weight. And for that, I'll show you the rucker. The primary load is going to come from a ruck plate, okay? And that sits at the back of the pack like so. And you can get different weights so that you can scale this to your ability if you're starting out or as you get stronger. But that's where the majority of the weight is. This is 35 pounds for me. And to be honest, that could be enough. You could have that, you could fill it up with some kit, and away you go. But in addition, I really like using ankle weights, okay? Because they're quite heavy. Again, we can use different amounts to titrate the weight to our needs, but we can also slot them in different places, so we can have them down the sides, or we can have those also high up the pack. I then have just a towel here, a dry bag full of some clothes, just to pack that out a bit more. So I'm gonna stick those on top there, close that up. Okay, option 2 is to use real kit. That's something that I have to do for the military style challenges that I do. They send you a kit list, and so I like to train with that. And so in this pack right now, I have sleeping bag, bivy bag, spare clothes, med kit, I have a big jacket, I have a waterproof jacket, and then a lot of the weight is going to be made up with water and food. So on the top there, I have normally my 3-litre hydration bladder, which is on the other pack for now, but I also have 4 of these and lots of cans of beans, okay, sitting at the top of the pack, so that's nice weight distribution. And then from there, look, this pack is huge, but what did I say? You want to fill it up and cinch it down. So I want to make sure that I cinch that down. And with the Bergen, you just got to make sure that you've tightened the straps everywhere when you load that up. Okay, so that's how you fill up the Bergen. And that brings me to a third option. You can mix and match, right? You can, as you saw when I loaded the Rucker, you can use some kit mixed with some dead weight, right? Ruck plate, ankle weights, that type of stuff. There's no rules here if you're just training. The most important thing is that you're comfortable and you have the right weight for the type of ruck you're doing. So that's really it. That covers how to load the ruck. Now we can move on to how to wear it correctly. Okay, how to wear the rucksack. So main principle, we want it high and tight to the back, okay? So once I've got the straps on, the main thing to focus on here is these shoulder straps. We want to make sure they are cinched right down. Okay, so especially if we're doing any kind of shuffling, we don't want that pack shifting up and down. We want to make it feel like it's connected to our body. So you've got to really cinch down on these shoulder straps. And if you have a chest strap and a hip belt, use them, okay? Because they do help with weight distribution. So I'm going to clip that on there. It's also known as a sternum strap. And I've got my hip belt here. Now the main principle with this, super important, is that it's not too tight, okay? So you want to make sure that you can get your fingers under there, okay? And there's a bit of movement. Why? Because of your breathing. You've got weight on your back. You need to make sure that you're breathing efficiently. Efficient breathing is going to expand your abdomen and your rib cage. So you've got to have room to breathe into this. If not, you're going to be a bit restricted and you're not going to move efficiently. So play with those, but make sure they're not too tight. Okay, they're still going to do the job of helping to improve your stability, but they're not going to restrict breathing if you use them correctly like that. So you're probably wondering, how much weight should you load in the pack? So here's a basic guideline. If you're a beginner, 0 to 10% of your body weight. If you're intermediate, 10 to 20% of your body weight. If you're advanced, you can go up to 30% of your body weight. And then special cases, right? If you're doing some kind of military challenge or hiking adventure, you want to use exacting standards, or at least eventually. Let's talk about footwear. So I have 2 types of shoes for rucking. I have a minimalist trail running shoe, and I have an all-terrain rucking boot. So the minimalist trail running shoe is designed to promote foot function. Right, it has a wide toe box, it has 0 drop in height between the heel and the forefoot, and it has a thin, flexible sole. This shoe does wonders to build very robust ankles and calves, right? It's going to promote mobility and stability, it's going to strengthen those intrinsic foot muscles and those calf muscles. I wear this shoe whenever I ruck indoors on a treadmill or stepper, doing any kind of walking or marching, okay? The impact is low. I want to work the foot as it's designed to get all those benefits. I wear the rucking boot if I'm outdoors or I'm doing any kind of shuffling. So quite a different design, obviously a lot more rugged, a thicker sole, super durable. So this shoe is going to do a great job of absorbing impact, and that's very important if you intend on doing any shuffling. It also does a great job of protecting the feet if you're navigating kind of harsh terrain. I can tell you from experience that I have tried shuffling in these and my calves are smoked pretty quickly. In these, I can shuffle with nearly 30 kilos on my back on concrete and my calves are fine. It's that different. So it depends on the type of rucking I'm doing. I am all for minimalist shoes. They do a great job of promoting foot and ankle health. But I'm only going to use those if I'm not shuffling, so walking and marching, okay? And it's done such a great job of strengthening all that for me. But again, if you're shuffling, if you're doing long, heavy work, if you're outdoors, navigating harsh terrain, I think the all-terrain rucking boot is a better choice. So, which footwear should you get? It sort of depends on the type of rucking you plan to do. But if you're like me and you're intending to diversify it, I would strongly recommend both. You want something like this when walking to promote foot health and get all those benefits of a minimalist shoe. But you might want something a bit more durable, a bit more supportive, taking some of that force and absorbing some impact with something a bit more rugged like that. Okay, we've talked the two essentials, rucksack and footwear. Let's cover some other considerations briefly. So socks, I would recommend some merino wool hiking socks. They do a great job of keeping your temperature well regulated throughout the year. They remove any moisture from the foot, so they help to keep your feet dry. They help to prevent blisters. They're just super comfortable. Next up, hydration, okay? I would recommend that you get a bladder like this, okay? This is 3 liters of water. It's good for added weight, right? You're gonna get 3 kilos there just from your consumable water, but also just super convenient. You wanna be able to be sipping water regularly. And so it's nice to have access right there, as opposed to having to faff around, take your pack off and grab a water bowl. Then we've got electrolytes. That's very important. So, general guideline with exercise is half a liter of water per hour with electrolytes to account for sweating. So some people like effervescent tablets, some people like tablets that you eat as you go, depending on the duration that you ruck for. Either choice is fine. Then you might want to think about carbohydrate sources, okay, gels or bars. Again, that depends on the type of rucking you're doing and the length of the ruck. If you're rucking outdoors, you want to consider the elements that can change. So a waterproof jacket is always a good idea to have in your pack, any spare clothes too. So those are the considerations. I really hope this video was valuable. I hope it helps you to feel confident to know what you need to get started with your rucking. In the future episodes, we are going to talk about more practical stuff like technique, how to build your workouts, how to plan routes, all that fun stuff. If you'd like to follow a program that integrates rucking, lifting, mobility, then please check out what I have to offer in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.